Welcome to Make Something with me, David Picciuto, and today we're gonna make this over-the-sink cutting board with a built-in calendar. Today's video is sponsored by Blue Apron. There'll be a link in the description box for the first 50 people to get 3 meals with their Blue Apron order for free, so check that out. All right, let's make this cutting board. Cherry and mahogany here that we're going to use to make this cutting board. So part of this cutting board is gonna hang over the side of the sink and is gonna hold this strainer right here. And then the other part is gonna hang over the counter that you can slide a plate underneath. So I've storyboarded this cutting board, and these 2 outside pieces are going to be cherry, and there's gonna be 2 thin pieces of cherry in the middle here with some racing stripes made out of mahogany, and I'm gonna cut that up here on the table saw. So this is why I have the storyboard, because this kind of allows me to see what the racing stripes are going to look like before we glue this up. Oh, I've seen Spice World.
Yeah, no.
I have too. It's fun. Spice World's a good movie.
Don't they have like a big van?
They do all kinds of crazy stuff in Spice World. I'm sure it's better than Lord of the Rings. Eric, hand me my book.
Wait, the book you wrote?
The book I wrote.
You literally wrote the book.
I wrote the book on cutting boards. You're not gonna find another cutting board book out there. I wrote the book on cutting boards. So people are gonna be like, you can't use long grain on cutting boards. It's going to fuck up your knives. If you wanna make an end grain cutting board, there's 3 or 4 of them in this book that I wrote. Let's talk about end grain cutting boards. The only people who have end grain cutting boards are woodworkers and their family. Most chefs do not use end grain cutting boards. Good cooks will sharpen their knives. All materials are going to dull your knives. Well, while this was drying, we went to the store and we found this calendar. We're gonna see if we can make this work. And it's been sitting for about an hour and a half. Gonna scrape away some of the glue here so that doesn't get caught up in my planer. So there's a little bit of wobble to it, and I want to run it through my planer. So I have this board here that I'm going to use as a sled. I'm going to tape it down, and I'm going to put a wedge in there, and then run it through the planer, and that'll give me a nice flat top. Then I can take the sled off, flip it over, and plane down the other side. Over here. Blue Apron allows you to create delicious chef-designed recipes at home. Blue Apron delivers all the farm fresh ingredients you need right to your doorstep in exactly the right proportions. That means no trip to the grocery stores and no waste from unused ingredients. They offer 2 types of plans, the 2-person plan and the family plan. Blue Apron recipes are delivered in a refrigerator box so the ingredients will stay fresh even when you're not at home when your package arrives. Blue Apron offers a large selection of recipes and is always adding new dishes to their menu every week. Blue Apron ships to most of the country. There is no commitment. You can skip or cancel at any time. And there's always free shipping. Each menu is between 500 and 800 calories per person. Ingredients are incredibly fresh and sourced from local suppliers and artisans. All meals can be prepared in 40 minutes. Learn to make new recipes and cuisines so you can get out of your dinner rut of making the same old dishes or relying on takeout. Chefs in training wear blue aprons. It is a symbol of lifelong learning and cooking. Like I mentioned before, there's a link in the description. The first 50 people get 3 meals free with their Blue Apron order. So check that out. I want to thank Blue Apron for making this possible. Now let's get back to this cutting board and finish it up. Here we go. So we're going to cut the hole for this out. Eric thought we could cut around the handles here, and I think after some back and forth in my head, I want to remove the handles. I just want to cut a nice perfect circle in here. So I'm gonna see if these guys will pop off. If not, we'll work with it. We want to come in about like that. We're just gonna drill a hole in here so I can get my jigsaw blade. All right, so now that fits in there nice and neat, I'm gonna route a little lip on here so that sits flush. So as you're cutting your vegetables, it can fall right in there. So that fits in there real good right now. We're gonna round over the corners. We're gonna put a round over on all the edges. And then I'm gonna create a little lip over here where a plate can slide in just a hair for cutting vegetables and fruits and whatnot and sliding it onto the plate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some food grade mineral oil and coat it on here, and then put a coat of Butcher's Block conditioner on top of that. This stuff is a little bit thicker and will leave more of a film. What I've done many times in the past is just use this stuff, one coat of this stuff, and then I will take like 50% this and then melt some wax on the stove and then coat it with that, and that gives it a nice waxy protective film. All cutting board finishes are not permanent. There's always going to be maintenance. How often do you have to refinish them? It really depends. It depends on like how you're using it, how often you use it. When you see it looking dull, just put a new coat of oil on there. This stuff comes from Home Depot, so I'm sure you can get it at many other big box stores. So just keep some of this in your kitchen, and you can always coat this whenever, you know, you can coat it after every washing. Don't throw it in the dishwasher, wash it by hand. All right, so there it is. We made this, what, in an afternoon? All in one day. Super quick, simple, easy. This is one of those things that you can customize to your kitchen. Customized projects are just, they're so fun because they're made just for you. So cool. So we found this at Bed Bath & Beyond. If there's an Amazon link, I will put it in the description. Otherwise, you can probably find any kind of strainer that'll work. My favorite feature is this little lip that I made here that goes over the plate, so you can scrape your vegetables and fruits or whatever right onto the plate. Very cool. This is the only book that you're going to find on cutting boards. There are, I think, 15 projects in this book, and we go over types of finishes, how to finish a cutting board, how to maintain a cutting board, what wood you don't want to use in cutting boards. And it's, I don't know, it's a fun book. I will have links to the book down in the description. So this particular project is not in the book. There is one that's very, very similar, but it doesn't have the lip. It's a little bit smaller, but it is an over the sink cutting board. I'd like to thank Blue Apron for sponsoring this video. Kelly and I really had an amazing time, had a fun time cooking that meal, and it was really good. It was so cool that all the portions for all the ingredients were exact. So there was no measuring. It was just like dump and cook, and that's fun. And it was really, really good. And I'm not even a spinach eater. I want to thank this week's top Patreon supporters, and that's Derek Jacobson, Jonathan J. Katz Moses, Meagan Payne, Brian McKnight, Chad Forrester, Timothy Allen, and Nathan Bird. If you want to support me and my show, visit patreon.com/Picciuto. I'm tired. It's been a long week, Eric.
Sorry, buddy.
You ready to wrap this up?
Let's get a beer.
Yeah, let's get a beer.
Let's go.
Here you go, Eric. As always, have fun, be safe, stay passionate, and make something. Oh, you weren't kidding.